Russia, a country that can be brutal in winter. The average temperature in Russia can be around -10 degrees Celsius in winter for cities like St. Petersburg and Moscow. But measuring temperatures even lower than that, around -20 degrees Celsius, is completely normal. Be aware, if you are unlucky and temperatures drop to -28 at night in the place where you are in Russia, that you shouldn't get a frostbite. If your skin is exposed for longer than 30 minutes, you might get frostbite.
And now we're next to the river, which is completely frozen as well. But every time when you remove your gloves here, it's so bloody cold.
Can we have a look at your hand?
My hand. It's so bloody cold. My hand seems quite okay now, but it gets like shaky and it's very painful to move. So every time when I remove my gloves to grab my camera and stuff, it's very annoying.
And that brings us to the most important tip: clothing. Dress up warm and work with different layers. You can work with thermal clothing as a base layer and work your way up from there. However, talking about gloves, if you ever meet someone in person, make sure you take your glove off when giving a handshake. It is considered rude if you keep your glove on. But you can expect that perception has changed a bit around this in the last 2 years. If you're ever with locals in an indoor area in Russia, don't ever whistle. This might sound strange, but this is seen as bad luck. Also be prepared for periods with little sunlight. The further up north you go in Russia, the less sunlight you will get. St. Petersburg, for example, only sees 2.5 hours of sunlight in winter.
It's a new day in St. Petersburg. It's currently 10 o'clock and it's getting light. So basically around 10:30 I assume it will be light in St. Petersburg.
Forget to visit Russia during the festive period. If you are planning a trip to Russia, at least make sure you capture its Christmas lights and markets, and maybe even New Year's Eve.
It's the bell, and oh! That's the Kremlin. We hear the Kremlin in the background. Putin just did his speech. And I think we're not in the new year yet.
Be aware that Russians celebrate Christmas based on the Orthodox calendar, which is on the 7th of January and not the 25th of December. Last but not least, do not skip the Summer Palace because of the name Summer. The Summer Palace is still a great place to visit in winter, even though the royal family would only stay here in summer.
This is the Summer Palace for Peter the Great, and while the Hermitage Museum is the Winter Palace, this one will be very interesting to see how the Summer Palace would look like during winter.
So all in all, Russia is still an amazing place to visit in winter.